All right, so just a quick little video here, guys. Finally building more of a permanent shelter out here where I camp, because I'm gonna be camping out here plenty. And also, you know, sometimes it's hard to find time to camp when you work a few jobs and you got stuff going on. So I want to have a I want to have a shelter that is pretty much ready to go. So I'll have a nice campsite that I can just jump out to, camp for the night, get a little, get it in. So here's where we go. I accidentally dropped the log on my fire reflector, so but got my little fire pit out here, and here's basically what we got going for this. So it's an A-frame shelter, okay, and this is all dead stuff. All right, I'm not cutting down any green stuff. Now this stuff looks very green, but it's this fallen tree over here where you can see it's completely uprooted, so it's nice and fresh. But I'm using really thick stuff because this is going to last through, it's going to last through plenty of wind. Eventually I'm going to cover the roof with some sort of thatched, whatever, cover it with natural stuff. But for now, I'll probably use some tarps. I'll probably get some canvas tarps from Harbor Freight and put it on there. So let me show you here. So it's an A-frame, but one side is going to be raised up to give you some headroom, like this. Okay, so standing back, it's an A-frame with that's about a 16-inch wall. Okay, so you're gonna have that much more headroom going through there, where maybe that's where you'll be able, I'll have a little, put my gear and have a table in there. Maybe that'll be the sleeping site, I don't know. But this is plenty wide enough for 3 people, honestly. If you want to pack in like sardines, I could jam 4 in there. But definitely 2 people. Gonna eventually put build a chimney right here by the river. So got a nice supply of water. Also, I've come through here while it's flooded out here, which it definitely does flood through here. And I've kind of found, this is the highest spot in this area. So this area, could it flood? Sure, if the water gets high enough. But the highest I've ever seen the water out here, this area stays dry. So that's why I have this built here. And, we used to have all this woods, but the city wanted to put a park in there and clear out a bunch of forest to put up their nature trails. So now we've got a little less woods. That's okay. So we got plenty of forest down here. Here's how I did my ridge pole. So rather than lashing it to a tree, the ridge is sitting on, you can see it's perched on a on 2 logs. All right, going over there too. And this is kind of just temporary. I just have some Canadian jam knots holding this. It's plenty tight while I get everything kind of framed up, and then I'll go back through and I'll put some further support on these support logs. Right now that ridge pole is sitting up here, and this is all at least probably, this is like 3 to 4 inch diameter wood that this whole frame is made out of. And then on the roof, I'm gonna put some cross members on to kind of strengthen it. And like I said, probably just drape some tape, so some tarps over for now. But it's gonna be a sweet shelter when it's done. And I'm gonna seal in some of the cracks using some sort of clay. Like I said, I got plenty of water out here. I'd like to get out to that island too, which this will kind of serve as a base camp for getting to the island. Also, this will serve as a base camp because I can do some trapping and trap some muskrat, maybe trap some mink down here, as well as do some fishing. So it's gonna be a nice little, we'll call it a line cabin, for whatever kind of line you're running out here. So get us a nice chimney built here, the indoor little fireplace potentially, and we'll go from there. But for now, it's shaping up to be pretty good out here burning calories. So that's that. And just update, I'll put all this together at the end to kind of do a speed through of everything. But that's what we've been doing. What we've been using is my bow saw, my takedown bow saw with a Baco dry wood blade. And I'm telling you what, this blade is a freaking wood eater, guys. This thing eats wood for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. All right, 24-inch. I accidentally ordered the 21-inch at first, and then this is a takedown bow saw I made, which, as you can see, my tensioner, I used a piece of all thread. I just stumbled across some video where a guy used a piece of all thread, and I thought it was cool. You know, obviously, if something happened, I could just do a windlass, and it would work just as well. But I like the all thread, and it doesn't take up any more room or weight to carry the all thread. One thing I'm gonna have to modify is the wing nuts I have that hold the blade in come loose as you're sawing, so I'm gonna have to do something there, some kind of lock nut, some kind of alternate nut. And then, so I got the takedown bow saw and just a little hatchet. This is this Collins hatchet. See, I got a little flower burned in there, the cat burned in there for me. Kind of cool. So the hatchet's basically for just delimbing stuff and finishing out cuts. I don't need a big axe out here with the bow saw, and I'm telling you, this thing just totally, this Baco, it's a Baco dry wood blade, and it just eats up wood, which, you know, the way I see it, I mean, I could throw a green wood blade in there, but the dry wood blade, I try to cut as little green wood as possible, even though, like in this case, this is kind of freshly fallen, so it's still green, but it cuts fine. And you know, cutting dry wood with a green wood blade is much harder than cutting green wood with a dry wood blade, if you're following with me. So that's what I found. And yeah, get yourself one of these little takedown bow saws, or just haul a bow saw on the wood. I mean, it just makes quick work out of this stuff, and pick you up a little Baco 24-inch or whatever size you need, a Baco dry wood blade. Got it off Amazon, but it just it just chews through wood. It's great. So more updates to come, guys. Thanks for watching. Guys, I stayed out here a little longer, so let's just cap this video off actually and show you where I got. So there's our wall, which we will fill in those cracks, and I've got a bunch of stakes supporting them. Plus they're all tied off to there, so that helps support them as well. This is basically just getting, once this thing is all put together, it's all going to kind of, you know, once I have all these supports, then it's all going to be kind of, I don't know what you want to call it, supporting itself in a way, if that makes sense. So the more I put on, the stronger it gets. I've got all these just Canadian jam knotted up there along the ridge, and I chopped them down so a tarp can go over the top. So I got that going along the backside. We'll do those, and then that'll give us just kind of a base to lay sticks, so then I don't need to find a bunch of 8-foot, you know, limbs, which I'm not going to find out here. Plus, it's going to basically serve as a base to thatch in or weave in stuff like, you know, vines and little, you know, dead saplings and, you know, honey locusts and stuff like that. That just grows rampant around here. So that's kind of where we're at. And now look at this, guys. So you see there, the river runs and it is blown, all that wood is hung up on that tree, and that would be a sweet place to set up a little camp for the night. So it's pretty cool. I want to get out to this island. It's low, the river's super low right now. Honestly, I could probably hike it out there with some muck boots, but I can get a little kayak out here. I've been looking at one of those Tuck Techs and save up some money for it, but get a kayak out here, and then with 2 people, one of us kayak across, dragging a line with us. We pull the kayak back over, send some firewood over, and then the last person comes over. You know, we're able to send the kayak back and forth with the line that way. So anyways, that's where we're at with this thing. This is gonna be pretty sweet when it's done.